My name is Sheila Lee Force, and I have been coaching at Washington High School since 2001, so I'll be starting my 25th year.
I'm Jennifer Homan, and I am from Hinton. I think this is my 23rd year of coaching. I started out in Geary, and I coached there for about 3 years, and then moved back to my hometown of Hinton, and I think I'm around year 20 for coaching.
My name is Donna Miller. I'm from Weatherford, Oklahoma, and I coached for 22 years.
I have been coaching since I was 14 years old, so just about 27 years, but it's been 22 years in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm Lisa Turner, and I'm from Chickasha, Oklahoma. I've been coaching for 30 years. Some of my top honors were I was All-State coach in 2008, and I've been All-Region coach in 2 different regions. And I have many times been the representative for Region 5 in Oklahoma Cheer Coaches Association, and just recently I was the president-elect until I retired this year.
Cheerleading has meant so much to me in so many different ways. My mother took over the cheerleading program at my high school when I was a middle school student because she wanted it to be something that I could be proud of and utilize that to achieve my goals. It's always been a big part of our relationship, especially as an adult. When I first moved home and I started helping, my dad was actually her assistant, so both of my parents and I were like Sallisaw cheerleading at the time. And it's just been such an important part of my adult relationship with my parents.
I was OCA Coach of the Year. I was Region 1 representative. I served on the advisory board. I've got Teacher of the Year in Weatherford. I also got an honor that is called Made an Impact.
I have been the OCCA president for 2 years, and then adding on the rest of this spring and summer, I was the West All-State coach for 2015, which was lots of fun. And I have 15 state championships with Performance State and Game Day State combined, and a few academic state championships as well.
I have been the Oklahoma All-State coach for the West, and I've been the Oklahoma Coach of the Year and the NFHS Spirit Coach of the Year for Oklahoma. And then as a team, we've won 5 state championships and 3 runner-ups, and then quite a few top 5 finishes.
My greatest accomplishment is, honestly, I loved it when they made, all region and got those honors, but I love watching the girls grow up. It's been fun watching them become mamas. And now, one of my cheerleaders is a coach. Well, a couple of them are. And it's just been fun watching them grow up and be successful parents and successful people.
I would say my greatest accomplishment in coaching would be my ability to go into programs and create success. So if you're talking about just in general, I would say that the ability to go into a program and see the potential, be able to troubleshoot, to be able to problem solve, to be able to go into any place and make them a factor at a competition. I think that's been one of my greatest successes. But I think when you're talking about on paper, some of my absolute greatest successes would be I won a UCA national championship, I won 3 NCAA national championships with Union, 2 Grand national championships with Union, 1 state twice with Union. We went through a period of 9 years where we were not out of the top 4, which was really, really challenging in 6A and 5A at the time.
My favorite memory from coaching would be the bus rides and the suburban rides. I just loved that. It was fun because I'd make connections with the girls. They'd be wild and crazy on the bus, and the music was loud, and I loved it. And also the things that we did together as a team, spirit-wise things and making posters and doing all that stuff. I just loved all of it.
When I won a state championship was in 1998, and we did it on the hardwood floor. The very next year was the year that they brought in mats. We were scared to death. We were a very little school, worried that we weren't going to get those mats. And my husband just looked at me and said, "You just won a state championship for this school. Do you think they're going to turn you down?"
I think the most important part of coaching is probably honestly seeing a way when there's no way. So, persistence, patience, I think the ability to look at kids and realize that the job of coaching is development. and it's really, really easy to coach really talented kids, and I've been there, done that. It's a lot harder to coach kids with a lot of potential, and I think that the best coaches I know are ones that are not afraid of potential and they're not afraid of the challenge.
I have a lot of favorite cheer memories, but obviously winning state was great. I was lucky to move into a program that was already very competitive and fairly successful when I started in 2001, and so I got to win my very first state championship in 2001, 2002, 2003, and then we moved up a division from Class A to 2A, which was a big change for us, and it took us about 6 years to rebuild that program. But then my daughter Madison became a 9th grade cheerleader, and I got to enjoy 4 more years of coaching cheer with her as a cheerleader, with 2 state championships and 2 state runner-ups with her. Every year is a joy, and the goal is just to do well every single year and have a great performance, and a win is awesome too, but just seeing the girls do a great job is probably my favorite cheer memories.
When we won in 2017, because we had won in 2008, and it had been a long time before we won again. And I remember when we first started coaching, my friend I was coaching with, we were like, we just want to hear him say our name. We just want to hear him say our name, even if we get 4th, you know. And then we started getting 4th and 3rd a time or 2, and it'd almost be like a punch in the gut when they'd say your name right off the bat. But even though it's a really big accomplishment, but we had won in 2008 and then come close several times, and finally in 2017 we won again. And just that, not knowing if you won the whole thing or you got nothing at all, you know, in that moment you hear them say your team name and everybody just jumps up and the shrill screams and pure joy and tears. That's probably my favorite moment.
Oh, I feel like the most important part is making an impression on the girls, being a good example for the girls, just having high expectations for them, just helping them to be a good person.
I think my favorite cheer memory is at a competition showing. I think I was a junior in high school, and Michelle Martin said, "Can you do this full on this hard floor?" And I said, "I think so." And she said, "Well, let's see it." And we were in an empty gym at NSU, and I threw that full on the hard floor. No spot, no warm up, just like, let's get this done. And after that it belonged to me. And I tell that story a lot to my kids, that I'm trying to convince them that they can do stuff. Like, once you get it one time, it's going to be yours. But I will never forget her saying, "Then let's see it right here on this floor." And I did that my junior year.
2013, that state championship was probably the highlight of my career in school coaching. We had gone through like a 5-year period where we had won state. There was a 3-way tie for first place the next year, and we ended up in 3rd place. And then we came back and won it again. We had won NCAA Grand, we won UCA. Like, there was just this 3-year, 4-year spot where we were just really strong. But I think winning state in 2011, and then almost winning in 2012, but then coming back for the win in 2013, maybe one of my greatest coaching accomplishments, and probably one of my greatest memories, because we had to dig. That was not the most talented Tulsa Union team we'd ever had, but they were the grittiest, they were the best heart, and we were able to really kind of lock in that year.
And so I cheered all through, you know, middle school, junior high, high school, and I cheered at one college and I really loved it. And then I transferred to a different university and I made the cheer team there, and it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And so I thought, well, I really already cheered in college, I'm not going to do that anymore. And my grandma was so disappointed in me. She said, "I can't believe you're not cheering anymore." And I said, "Well, you know, it's okay, Grandma. I'm not going to do cheer for my whole entire life." And then here I am, 47, still doing cheer, not going to quit anytime soon. So I should have known Grandma was right.
The most important part of coaching is, I believe, the ability to forgive and forget. Many times, they're teenagers. Girls come in with an attitude. Something's bothering them. It doesn't matter. But they do something that, one, could get them in trouble, or they smart off. It's just part of coaching. You have to be able to read them and be able to forget what happened and move on. Forgiving is pretty easy, but forgetting is a little bit harder sometimes. But the next day is always something better. Even if we have a knockdown, drag out, you have to get up and move it on again the next day, because you can't let it just continually affect I don't ever let something that a student or an athlete did to me previously, like the day before, the week before, whatever, it basically is out of my mind and we're always on a new slate. So that's kind of how I've rolled with a lot of things.
It really, it changed me. It gave me more passion. It gave me an insight of how everybody's different. You know, and I love making an impact on those girls, being there for them. I wasn't their best friend or anything, but I just liked it that they could, rely on me.
I think building relationships with kids and helping them grow into not just a cheerleader, or tumbler, or stunter, or an athlete, but just helping them grow into good people is probably the most important part of coaching any sport and teaching.
I was driving down the street one day. My son was a freshman that year. He played football. And this mom stopped me and she said, "Hey, we need a coach for cheer." Well, I had boys and I never thought in a million years I would do that. And she said, "You would be perfect." So I said, "You know what? I could do that. I could go to the games, get the Suburban, and I'll be there for the games." And that's how I got into it.
It sounds very cliche, but it's the relationships that you build with those athletes. I love that starting in 2001, I am still friends with girls who are now grown adults with kids of their own and go to their baby showers and their weddings and still have a relationship with all of them. A lot of them still live in Washington and I get to see their kids growing up, sometimes have their kids as a cheerleader at this point. So that's what I think is extra special, is just having that relationship that you get to just continue as an adult instead of as an 18-year-old cheerleader.
Coaching has meant a lot to me. I am the granddaughter of a coach, so my grandfather was a football coach at Langston University here in Oklahoma, and it was kind of like a part of the family legacy. It's something that I kind of ran from for a little bit because I wasn't quite sure that I could make a career out of this, and I wasn't quite sure how do you have a professional career in a sport you love. And coaching has kept me grounded, it has kept me humble, it has kept me hungry, it has kept me motivated. I think for me, coaching just really is something that I'm absolutely obsessed with. It has made me a better communicator. It has made me a more patient parent. It has made me a better spouse. And it makes me have to deal with conflict, resolve it. And it has given me this opportunity to be a part of a lot of kids' lives and get to go to weddings and baby showers. And some of my athletes literally call me and text me weekly. So it has given me a lot. Coaching has probably given me more than I've given it. But it's been pretty special for me.
To me, being a coach has been not just what I do, but it's who I am. It's all the relationships I have. My husband's a coach, I'm a coach. Our children have grown up in a coaching family, and they both want to kind of have some aspect of working with children. You know, when they get into being a professional and a grown-up, I guess. My best and closest friends are coaches. My boss and bosses have been people I coached with or coached their children. So it just is a big part of, I think, maybe what I was made for and what my purpose is to be in life. Not just teaching, and teaching's amazing and you get those kids for 1 year, but I feel like in coaching we get those kids from 7th grade on, you know, and beyond a lot of times, because we become friends with them and they grow up, and now I'm getting old enough where here come their kids and they say, "Oh, you can't retire yet, you've got to coach my kids too." So we'll see about that. I don't know.
Being a coach means a lot to me. It's something that now, as I'm in my 30th year and finishing that, I have many students, cheerleaders, athletes that I talk to on Facebook. I keep up with them, and it's just so much fun to see that all of them still talking about, you know, how things used to be, and, you know, we really miss you, Miss Turner, and you know, they're always constantly saying things to me and giving me encouragement on Facebook. But to know that I have so many people that I've affected throughout the years, and they still like to be in contact with me. So they still like to talk.
I'd like my legacy to be, again, those relationships that I've built with my athletes, and that they can look back and say that I was kind to them, that I made them feel special, just that I took care of them and was mothery to them. When maybe that was something that they needed at the time.
My greatest accomplishment as a coach is going to be different. It is seeing my daughter coach her own team and win state championships. That is one of my most favorite memories.
My greatest accomplishment as a coach, I think, is, and my favorite part of being a coach too, is getting girls, and I've had one boy, to do something they didn't think they could possibly do, like to get that skill or to make All-State or All-Star or something like that.
I would like my legacy to be that I was fair, that I was someone that they could look up to, and like I said, had high morals, and I'd like to say I was a good Christian, a leader as best I could, but
I think I would like my legacy to be, first and foremost, the 10 years I did at Union.
But I was always someone willing to work hard for the girls if they worked hard for me, and letting them always know that it's not just cheerleading at the end of the day. There's so many more other things, but winning is great, but just the want to win is something that I always wanted them to know, that I wanted them to always want to compete. Don't ever back down from a challenge. Always want to win.
My legacy, I think I just want them, any cheerleaders I've had or anybody I worked with or knew that I helped this program, just to know that I wanted the best, not just as a team and not just as winning, but for each individual, and for them to understand, hey, if we really work together and set these goals and do all these things we know that we need to do, we can meet this goal. Like, we can win, we can do hard things. I try to tell them that all the time. You can do hard things. I know you can do it. I need you to know you can do it. So I think just for them to know that I wanted the best for them.
I think my biggest legacy I'd like to leave is as somebody that kept, Union relevant, kept them competitive, and kept them strong for 10 years, despite, the dynamics of the school changing, and despite having kids that needed more help, more guidance, and more counseling. I also would like my legacy to be as a choreographer who worked with lots of different programs and who was able to go into programs that didn't see what they could be and help them become great. I think I want my legacy to be as somebody that, has created some pretty good cheer moments across the state, has worked with a lot of programs.
Cheerleading really did bring me all of my life, all of my joy. I met my husband because of cheerleading. We have these two great kids that are at Sallisaw and are part of living the legacy that my parents have left, and that I hope to leave, that we're building on. So I'm thankful for my husband and his family. She was a cheerleader at Iowa State. My mother-in-law was. My father-in-law was a national champion wrestler, and they mentored me, and we did a Bible study at their house all through college. Cheerleading really did bring me all the best things in my life, and I'm so thankful for my kids, and my daughter loves it. She loves cheerleading, and she's competitive, and she's driven, and she wants to be all the things that she can be, and that's a huge part of the legacy that my parents gave to me, and that I'm trying to leave for her too.
Let me just say, when I first started is not the coach I am today. Things have changed, and I see myself in my daughter and the way that she coaches, and I looked at her one day and I said, you'll change that.
The Oklahoma Cheerleading Coaches Association has played a huge role in the state of Oklahoma, and I got to see it firsthand. I was a kid, I guess really I was a teenager when I first started coming to the Coaches Association meetings. We would not be where we are today if we did not have the Oklahoma Cheerleading Coaches Association. 100% I believe that.
I never really thought that I would have enough, accolades to be there, but I've been here for 30 years, and I guess I do. I am more than honored to be here, but it's a huge accomplishment, and it's something that I never really expected. And I am glad that my family all know and have that, you know, as part of my mom's, you know, Hall of Famer. But they were all so proud of me when they found out, and I really enjoy the fact that I get to share that with my daughter, who is also a coach. My son is a coach, so we have grown my children into coaches, and they're building their own legacies at this time. So I feel like that's pretty important.
To be included in the Hall of Fame is just a really, really special thing to think about, and to see the people that I'm included with that have made everything in Oklahoma cheer what it is today. It's very humbling, but it's also very, very exciting to think about, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it.
I want my legacy to be a continuation of what my parents have offered to the program at Sallisaw. But I want kids to know and remember how much I loved them, and want them to be their very best, want them to have the best, want them to, you know, shoot for the stars. I want my legacy to be a program that the kids know how much I care about them. I'm asking a lot of them and holding them accountable for a lot of things in a lot of ways that a lot of people aren't. But I want my legacy to be that I helped my kids be their very best.
Just to be part of the Hall of Fame is a little bit unfathomable, and then to be in the same group as these ladies, it's really kind of unimaginable.
Oh, I'm just so humbled. It makes me want to cry. I was shocked. It means a lot.
To be included in the Hall of Fame is such an honor. Just knowing the people who came before me who are in it, and the years of dedication and work that those people put into it, and to be compared with those, plus the ones that I'm being inducted with, is just a true honor that I'm just blessed to be nominated and to be seen at that level of coaching skills.
I mean, when you look at the list of the Hall of Fame inductees from like the last even 3 years, it is literally the best of the best, the salt of the earth of our sport. And I think being a part of this group and being recognized by my peers that I belong amongst this is really cool. And this honor is not lost on me, and it is not something that I think that is just given to everybody. I was kind of lucky enough to also be inducted into the Union Coaches Hall of Fame this year. So this is like a really crazy Hall of Fame year for me, but I'm thankful that I was able to have enough of an impact that people believed that I should be amongst this group.
I really can't believe that I'm already here and have been nominated to be into the Hall of Fame. When Cynthia first established that we were going to pursue the Hall of Fame, I was emotional, because those women and man, with Jerry going in first, like, they were just such a huge part of my childhood. And again, those people made a huge impact on my life and helped me be a cheerleader, because they were who mentored my mom and who helped my mom be the best coach that she could be. And it was just such a big deal. And it seems so fast that here we are, and I don't know if this is 4 or 5 years later from that I've been nominated and considered to fit in with those people, because the work that they did when they really didn't even want us to be a sport back then. And they just kept on and kept on and kept on and pursued safety and recognition and standards for what we do today. And so to even be included with those people is really unbelievable. I mean, I really can hardly believe that we're here and that we're even talking about this. But it is such an honor. My mom, Fran Bewley, was in the first class of the Hall of Fame, and Michelle Martin then was in the second group inducted. Again, I can't believe that anyone would consider me in there with them. It is very meaningful to be considered in a group, that one with my mom and Michelle both, that I love so much and were so influential and impactful in my life.
Ooh, who would I most like to thank? I think it would have to be my husband. He definitely is the one that never had an issue with going to a football game, a basketball game, any cheer competitions. He was right there. He never once tried to say, gosh, another cheerleading thing. He was always the support that I needed, and he would do the laundry if it needed to be done when we were in competition season. But he would also be the bus driver if it had to be that. But the girls enjoy him as well. He loves to go on trips, and I think he loves the competition part. He would send me text messages when I was in the hallway waiting, you know, in line, you're next up or whatever. He's like, this team just hit the floor, you got it, you know, that kind of stuff. So he's always been a really good cheer husband and cheer dad.
I definitely want to thank my mom. I wouldn't be the person that I am without my mother. And obviously everybody's mom is important to them, and I don't want it to sound cliche or even lackadaisical, but my mom really did so much to help me achieve my goals. I mean, when she took over the cheerleaders at Sallisaw, they had never done a cheerleading competition. They'd never been held to any kind of accountability. She wasn't a cheerleader. She didn't know anything about cheerleading except what she wanted to know. She immediately got hooked up with the people in the state that did know what they were doing, and she asked all the right questions. I mean, she just did above and beyond what a cheer coach and a mom needed to do for me so that I could live my dream.
Who I would thank for my coaching success obviously would be my coaching team, which included Jeff and Craig, and at this point now Madison, as the coaches of the group who do all the work, the choreography, come to all the practices, and take care of all the performance value of the team. I do the other side of the work, but without them it would not be possible because I couldn't do the work that they do. So I truly appreciate my coaching team. I think we all work well together and make it a successful program. I'm also very grateful for the administration that I've had.
Oh, I'd love to thank my husband Rick. He was always there for me. He would always meet me at the games, and if we ever did anything crazy, he was always for it. And of course, my boys and my kids, they were always there. My nephews would ride the bus with me, so they were fun. They always tagged along when they were little, when I first started cheer coaching. And my grandkids, Iker and Scout. Oh, absolutely, Allison Props and Sarah Music. Those two, we coached together for years, and they pretty much led the way for me. I mean, yeah, they did. They were great.
So the first person I really want to thank is Andrew Whedon, my husband. When he started dating me, I was literally like working at a cheer gym on like 3 million all-star teams at that cheer gym. I was doing school cheer tumbling. I was doing choreography. I was literally running around with a traveling circus with Jeff and Craig and Oklahoma Twisters. And he kind of just jumped in 2 feet first. And he knew back in the day, I just said, like, I love this. Like, this is my passion. And he never tried to dim that passion. He never tried to pull me back from that. He has only ever supported me. He supported me when it was our opportunity to move to Tulsa and go into Tulsa Union. He supported me when the opportunity came up to become a gym owner, knowing that was gonna like dramatically affect our family and our lives. I am on the road all summer, all fall, doing, once we get out of performance day, it's time to start working through game day. Once we get out of game day, then it's nationals. Once we're out of nationals, then it's all-star national season. But he is like the best cheer husband ever because he lives, breathes, and dies it. And when I was at Union, there was no better Union fan than Andrew. He sacrificed a lot of my time and a lot of, tears on the way home and a lot of getting home and needing, somebody to pick me back up. So first person I would think was Andrew by far, easily. Secondly, Mason and Bryn, who have literally known nothing but the cheer life. I had Mason in 2010, which was really at the height of my Union streak and probably the most successful time we had there on paper. And I literally went to practice the morning that I had him, and then was at practice again on Monday because he was born in August. So he's like a state baby. He has known nothing but growing up in the cheer room. And though he never was interested in cheer and tumbling, he's really super supportive of it. Bryn, my baby girl, who was born in 2013, who again has known nothing but the cheer life. I was lucky enough that she loves cheerleading and that she is all in between the gym and now doing school cheer at Broken Arrow. But, you know, she sacrificed a lot from me being just mom. Like, I'm mom, but I'm also Coach Cat, you know, but I'm also a gym owner. So them for sure. I would really like to thank my parents who did not think that this was what I was going to do. You know, my father's a doctor, my mom's an attorney, and I have an oldest sister who's an attorney, a second oldest sister who's a doctor, and I was like, I want to be a cheer coach. And they were like, well, then you're just going to be an educated cheer coach. Everything that I am comes from them. My dad is a hard, obsessive, 24 hours a day worker, and I am that person. My mom can literally talk, you know, an Eskimo into ice cream, and I'm also that person. I would like to thank Jeff LaForce and Craig Hallmark, who were my first bosses in Oklahoma. When I came to Oklahoma and I started this cheer career, just wanting to be on their open team, and I again can't even tell you how I started working there, but I'm pretty sure I was like, hey, I'm a coach. You need a coach? Like, I'll be a coach. Their ability to see the potential in me was not lost on me, and it is something that I've carried on for other people. The foundation that I got from working from them is something that has carried me for 22 years. My ability to learn from them, who were the best of the best of the best in Oklahoma high school cheerleading, is why I can do what I do now. Back in the day, when I couldn't say the words correctly, when I didn't know how many stanzas were in a cheer routine, when I wasn't sure what, you know, skills were legal and were not, they were the kind of mentors that not only taught me, but helped propel me forward. When they got busy, they gave me this ability to kind of manage and lead their gym. And that's where I was able to develop this ability to be a head coach and to be able to like manage other people. They have brought me along for Union, which ended up turning into me being at Union for 10 years. I've gotten to be a part of some really cool state championships with Newkirk, with other schools, because of their belief in me and the potential. And when it was time for me to spread my wings and move to Tulsa, you know, they guided me out of the nest and pushed me on forward. And we still collaborate to this day on teams. So I want to thank them. I want to thank my mother-in-law, Jan, who's the only reason that, you know, I can do what I do, because she literally holds down the fort and she is a second mom to our kids. I cannot express enough how much she has helped me be able to do what I can do by just taking care of home base for me. I want to thank my athletic directors at Union. I was hired by Steve Dunlap, and he still to this day is like one of my very favorite people. Chuck Perry was my athletic director for a very long time, and he poured a lot into me. Jared Mendenhall also poured a lot into me. Emily Barkley at Union. I want to thank Stacy Beams, my co-coach at Union for 10 years, who was still one of my best friends. We were literally potlucks coaching partners, and we became best friends. Our kids grew up together, and we really, I think I was able to stay at Union for 10 years because of the school support, but also because I was able to have this co-coach who, like, we always had a united front, even when we were, you know, fighting it out backstage. Like, we always had a united front, and she made it easy for me. The last kind of group I want to thank is like Lux. So the gym that I own, when we get into state season, there's a lot of give and take that happens. And my coaches at Lux, my families, the kids of that program who believe in me and who choose us time and time and time again, who also know that I have this other life that is Oklahoma school coaching and choreography. They literally have helped me do what we've done. So there's a lot of people. You know, Tamara Danzy, one of my great friends who also coached at Union, who has been like a sounding board for a year. There's a lot of people I'd want to thank, but I think I've hit most of them right there.
I would most like to thank for my success as a cheer coach, of course, my family. It's a tough job, as you guys all know. It's a lot of hours, not a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of drama to deal with. But my husband is a softball coach, and there's good and bad with that for sure. But that has definitely helped me in our competition season, to work with a coach that has the same girls and the same schedule. And my assistant coach likes to say, oh, well, we can practice whenever we want because she's sleeping with the softball coach. But I say, no, don't tell people that. The softball coach is my husband. And yes, sometimes that's a little bit tricky, but it has worked. And for over 20 years, he has really been a rock for me, not just in scheduling, but I can come home and kind of vent, hey, this is going on, they're driving me crazy, and well, that they're athletes, they're kids, they're teenage girls, that's what happens. My kiddos have been amazing. My daughter thinks she might want to be a cheer coach too, and sometimes it's hard not to say, no, don't do it, but she grew up with it. I think she would do a really good job. And my son, he's always been there all along from the beginning, and he used to come to the practices, and he wanted to be a flyer, and he would do the cheers, and then Daddy said no, he can't come to practice anymore. But he's been a really big help all along. My assistant coach, our administration that we've had all through the years, like, it really does take a whole community, and not just the athletes but also their parents, and we would have never had the success that we have without supportive admin, supportive parents, and my family at home.
Back in the day, I used to think to myself, like, everybody in the Hall of Fame is old. I was like, and now I'm in it.